I think Gen Z is just going to have to be okay with being consistently unemployed in the future. And I think the structure of work is going to look less like having one long-term job and really just being like a collective assortment of like different side hustles, as you want to call them, revolving around a certain skill set that equates to like a full-time job. So it's basically gig work, but it's gig work for like corporate America. So I've personally been laid off only once. It happened a couple weeks ago. In case you're new, this is basically my blog of how I am going through unemployment and just kind of giving like a daily update on like thoughts, feelings, struggles, successes, all that stuff. But yeah, I kind of had this thought today that like I've personally never had like a very stable career, and I'm a very young millennial, born 30 years old, so pretty much like right at the end of millennial, right at the beginning of Gen Z, but basically I'm a millennial. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm not a millennial or anything. Not trying to like have Gen Z stolen valor, but there's so many like people that I know who are getting laid off right now. And, with AI coming in, a lot of like our corporate desk sitting jobs are going to go away, and you're basically just going to be stuck like trying to like figure out like how to make a living. And I think that's something that, a lot of people, obviously everyone's had to make a living before, but I think it's like a corporate, like a cultural like consciousness of like where we think we're going to end up when we're like, we're like 10 years old in elementary school. Like, oh, I'm going to be an office worker like my daddy or whatever, like my mommy. It's, I think in the future with like Gen Alpha, I think they're going to see like Gen Z and like maybe some younger millennials, and they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to have to figure out how to like string together various types of employment in order to like actually come up with a full-time income due to X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to have to constantly be like trying new projects. I'm going to have to constantly be like, I don't want to say hustling, like but it basically really is like hustle culture, I guess I will have to say hustling. It's like you got the hustle. Every day is going to be a struggle. Every day is going to be like you're going to have to try and figure out like, okay, we're going to get $500 from here, we're going to get $400 from here. And it's kind of, in my opinion, even though it seems alien to us, and it would definitely seem alien to like people in like the boomer generation or maybe some Gen X, probably Gen X and boomers, and people older than that, if they're still around, you don't really aspire to have like a career anymore. Like there are no careers, and Gen Z probably nobody's really going to have much of a career. It's just going to be a series of jobs that are just going to keep cycling through and through and through, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to work here for 2 years, I'm going to work here for 2 years, I'm going to work here for 3 years. And it almost doesn't even matter like what your skill set is. Like I know a lot of engineers, and I'm personally an accountant, which on the surface are two like very good like careers to have, in the sense that you have a skill set that is needed at every single company or close to almost all companies, and you also have some clout and you have some like leeway and like kind of like not, and you're replaceable. Everyone's really replaceable at the end of the day, but you're a little harder to replace than like somebody who like mans the front desk, or somebody who like works in marketing, or somebody who works in like advertising. Now there is like scuttlebutt around AI and stuff, and I think those like all careers are definitely subject to getting replaced by AI to some extent. But these are careers that like 15-20 years ago you would have been like, yeah, my son's gonna be an accountant, or my son's an engineer. And now it's like these people are getting laid off too, and they really can't find a new job, and you're going to have to be stuck like trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I make $500 this week, or how do I make $1,000 this week? We're all reverting back to something that I've noticed is like kind of reverting back to like how I imagined it was like in the like medieval times. Like we're reverting back to like medieval peasants, but instead of farming tomatoes or farming like onions or whatever for the Lord, or the Lord's like taking a strip of your like land and like, okay, well, the rest of this is what you have to survive off of. It's actually like we're trying to farm dollars, and then the government's like, okay, yeah, here's the dollars you farm doing all this goofy stuff like making a YouTube channel, like selling crafts on Etsy, like what else? What's some other good little side hustles that people do? Selling food at a vendor cart. You're gonna see, I think, people with engineering degrees in like 10 to 15 years going from their engineering job, pulling up on the side of the road with like a taco stand, or they're gonna be pulling up with like a Greek yogurt stand, and you're gonna be sitting there buying Greek yogurt from John, the engineer at Wagey Corp, after his corporate job that only lasts like 10 hours a week, because the AI and just like general economic factors have reduced people's careers to the fact that like they can't even keep them employed full time. I don't know, it's kind of doomer. And honestly, I'm not really trying to be like, oh man, everything sucks, everything's gonna be awful. But I think with Gen Z and maybe Gen Alpha in the future is they're gonna have to probably internalize the fact that like honestly like a long-term career is not gonna happen. I know we always say like, oh yeah dude, obviously careers aren't aren't real. Pensions don't exist and all that. However, I still think people like really don't actually internalize that. They just kind of say that to say that, and then when it doesn't happen, they're like, "Oh man, what the heck? I didn't realize that." I think people are really going to be like trying to like make money. Like when they're in college, they're going to be trying to make money, just like try to come up with like side hustles and try to come up with like all sorts of like income streams or revenue streams to replace like a traditional career. Which I don't know how I feel about that. Like on the one hand, like corporate jobs suck. I didn't really like my corporate job at all. But on the other hand, it's like, how much effort are you going to put into like tons of other things? Like at my corporate job, even though like it was stressful a lot of the time, there's a lot of downtime too where I didn't have to do anything really. I just had to sit there and look busy. And when you're working for yourself and you're working on all these like little side hustles and projects and all this other, stuff, you can't really like have any downtime. There's no like, oh, I can just sit here and do nothing and still make money. You have to like put in the work to try and create like any sort of income stream. And creating like passive income streams outside of like having money and like putting it into like a dividend or something takes a lot of time. Like I have something that I would consider to be like kind of passive, which is like I basically have a little blog that generates AdSense revenue to the tune of like, I don't know, $100 a month. And it's like that actually took a lot of time to set up the website, set up come up with the topics, come up with like the articles. Like it takes a lot of time to actually do anything passive, like make something from scratch. But yeah, that's all I got today. Day 16 of unemployment. Besides that, not a whole lot's really changed. And till next time, take care.